This all started yesterday morning. We're told plainclothes officers used GPS to track a stolen car down to a condo parking lot here in East Price Hill. Chief Terry Thigi says when uniformed police arrived, 4 people got out of the car and started running. One of them allegedly aimed his gun at officers. That's when a plainclothes officer shot and killed him. Police later tracked down and took 2 other people that were in that car into custody.
We have just learned the names of the 2 people now facing charges after a chase that ended with a deadly police shooting in East Price Hill.
Austin Jarrell and DeAnthony Bullocks are due in court this morning. Both men are accused of receiving stolen property and obstructing official business. CPD tells us they ran from officers investigating a stolen car at a condo on Warsaw Avenue yesterday. Another suspect was shot after officers say he pointed a gun at them. A 4th person is still on the run.
Now, Kober says he spoke to the officer who fired the deadly shot during that chase.
You don't have time to think in this situation. It's nothing more than a reaction because you want to save yourself. Anytime something like this happens, there's a range of emotions that they go through. But I have no doubt that the officer will come through this okay.
Hit by a car while directing traffic. Thanks for joining us at 4 o'clock. I'm Ashley Kirkland.
And good evening to you. I'm Cherie Palillo. We are now learning that that deputy is in critical condition. A few officers telling me, quote, extremely critical condition. All of this unfolding just a short time ago along Martin Luther King Drive and Burnett Woods. And that's where we find WLWT News 5's Brian Hamrick. Brian, what can you tell us about this crash?
Yeah, Cherie, well, that's exactly where we are. We right at that intersection of MLK and Burnett Woods. And let me show you exactly what's happening. There's a pretty good vantage point from here, really the only place where you can see exactly what's happening here. You can see this vehicle. This is a dark colored vehicle. This is where all the activity has been. They have not sent anyone up to tell us exactly what is happening here. So I'm going to show you what's happening, at least with the investigation part of it. See that vehicle? The front of it appears to be smashed into this pole right here at MLK and Burnett Woods. It was a very powerful impact. The tire is underneath of it. The side of that vehicle is smashed in. They've now started putting evidence markers on the side of that vehicle. Officers have been out here all day long. Let me give you a little bit of sound from what officers heard when they began to respond to this call.
Yo, what's up, people? We is back. Another day on Keep It G News. And they always in Columbus, Ohio to talk about a situation that I think is bizarre. But this is one of them situations that a lot of people talk about. A lot of people talk about the police and how you should handle the police. And everybody is beefing with each other, but the police is causing all this trouble. The police is doing this and doing that. And nobody makes them answer for the bullshit that they do. Well, in this situation, it's kind of different. But it's sad at the same time because I think this is a situation where nobody wins. Nobody wins, when you let your anger and frustration get the best of you. But in this situation in particular, I kind of understand it. Not saying that he did the right thing, but I get it. What do you do when you lose a child? As a matter of fact, what do you do when you lose a child by the hands of the police? And you don't believe it was justified. So in this video, we're going to go through the whole series of events. The videos y'all just watched was the arrest of 2 kids along with the death of Ryan Hinton. Now, Ryan Hinton was an 18-year-old kid, y'all, gunned down yesterday or the day before by Columbus police in a stolen car riding in a Kill. We done had conversations about that Kill. We all know Tommy G is the one that popularized the Kill boys and brought it to the world. And next thing you know, it went from city to city, state to state, and there's been a lot of death and destruction because of that. But for some reason, he gets untalked about when we talk about the Kill boys, even though he's the guy that popularized it. But this ain't about Tony G. This is about Ryan Hinton and his death. Now, video footage got released, and I'm going to play the video footage. But like I told y'all in the beginning, what do you do as a parent? Because what you find out in this situation, because you seen the car crash, and you probably wondering, how is this related? But what you find out in this situation is it's all related because Ryan Hinton's father, Rodney Hinton Jr., is actually the guy that mowed down the police. Now, at the time, they didn't know that. But what you're going to find out in this next clip is it's all connected. It's all related. And the reason why he mowed down the police is because the police murdered his son.
At East Martin Luther King, it's going to be an off-duty officer involved accident. Burnett and King. It is confirmed officer down. Confirmed officer down.
Yeah, now we have confirmed that the deputy who was hit was recently retired from the Hamilton County Sheriff's Department. He was on a special duty here. His name's not been released.
Gathered to give you an update on an incident that you're aware of, I'm sure, happened earlier this afternoon, approximately 1 p.m. We had an auto accident at Martin Luther King, Burnett Woods Drive, where a Hamilton County deputy was struck. He was outside his vehicle conducting traffic enforcement. He was struck by a vehicle. It saddens me tremendously to make you aware that he has since passed. I think what is significant for people to know about this accident is the officer was just out doing his job, directing traffic up near the University of Cincinnati for what was supposed to be a glorious day for many. What is significant also to know about this auto accident, as you know, we had a critical incident yesterday in the city of Cincinnati, an officer-involved shooting at approximately 9 a.m. yesterday morning. There is a connection between these two incidents. The driver of today's vehicle that struck a deputy has a family relationship with the 18-year-old that we shot yesterday. So that is currently under investigation by both our homicide unit as well as the traffic unit. Traffic unit and homicide are jointly investigating the traffic accident. Again, it saddens me to report out that we lost a law enforcement officer in the city today, in this county.
So Rodney Hinton Jr., y'all, mowed down the police that was doing traffic patrol. Mowed them down. Now, I told y'all in the beginning of the video, they didn't know if all this was connected, but once they locked him up and found out his last name, they found out who his son was, they put all the pieces to the puzzle together. He might have admitted to it. And the reason why I say he might have admitted to it is because what you're going to find out also in this video is Rodney stood on it. Like, he is completely cool with his decision making. And y'all know how I feel about that. If that's how you're going to rock, stand on it. Not saying he did the right thing, but what do you do? What do you do? Because like I said, I'm going to show y'all the video. Before I show y'all the video, I want y'all to see how Rodney Hinton reacted in this bail hearing. After he decided, or the judge decided that he was going to give him no bail, and y'all see the police presence, Rodney Hinton Jr. walked out that courthouse with his head held high.
As he was being escorted out of the courtroom, he appeared to shout at deputies he's going to be gone forever, though it's unclear if he's referring to the deputy that he's accused of killing or his son, who was killed by a Cincinnati police officer on Thursday. Here's what we learned from court earlier this morning after that tense appearance, surrounded by dozens of deputies inside and outside the courtroom. We're learning more details from the Hamilton County Prosecutor's Office about what's now being called a deliberate attack. Prosecutors say witnesses watched Hinton stop his car outside of graduation ceremonies for students at the University of Cincinnati, then rammed the recently retired deputy who was outside his vehicle conducting traffic, ultimately ending his life.
So the court will now set no bond until Tuesday, when we'll review the statute for a continuing no bond under these unusual and very tragic and terrible circumstances. Where will the defendant be housed, and will he be safe? And I ask that because he was transferred, as I understand it, to Clermont County yesterday.
That's correct.
On my order.
That's correct.
And will he be returned to Clermont County until Tuesday?
It's our understanding he'll be returned to Clermont.
And you have a safe environment for him there in Clermont County?
Yes, sir.
You'll return him on Tuesday, May the 6th at 8:30 a.m.?
That's all right. Thank you, Young.
No, thank you all. Thank you all for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, I know some people question, is this right or is this wrong? Now, I can't say if it's right or it's wrong or not, because I've never been in that situation. I don't know how I would react to that situation. Now, there's posts on Facebook that say he was a great father, but His son was in the street somehow, some way. He had a firearm on him. Now, what you're going to watch in this next clip is the video. 6 seconds of the video of Ryan losing his life. Because y'all heard the officer speak about how he aimed at the car. But did he really?
For hearing that.
The officer who did discharge his firearm said that when the individual came out between the dumpsters, he had the firearm in front of him. It was in like a bladed position, and it was pointed at the officer. And he felt threatened for his life, and that's why he discharged his firearm.
4 to 5 rounds were fired. The suspect was hit twice, given medical care right away, and died. TG says this is the gun the suspect had. A semi-automatic with an extended magazine, with another magazine in his pocket.
Let me be very direct. We cannot allow individuals to flee from officers with a loaded firearm aimed at them. When this happens, the outcome is almost always tragic.
Police also told us that a stolen gun was found inside that stolen Kia.
Now, the video is kind of grainy, but it don't look like to me he turned around and aimed at no cop. More than likely, he probably dropped the firearm when they seen that he hit the ground. I don't think he would pick it back up. I mean, I don't know, but I wouldn't have picked it back up in that situation because you know how these police is. They trigger happy. And a lot of times they scared. And I know this comes along with the job where people say, you know, the police got to make split decisions. And that's true. But you also got to make the right decision. If he never turned around and pulled that gun on that officer wasn't in harm's way. He wasn't in danger. Ain't nobody really willing to shoot running from behind him. You know, this is not the movie. This is reality. And though you can't see that video, that gun in that video, they did produce a firearm that say this was the one that he had. They probably checked it for ballistics. You know, they did all the 9 yards, you know, the things that they do. But at the end of the day, yo, this is a tragic situation, yo. And I can't say Rodney was wrong for what he did. You know, maybe this was his only child. Maybe he thought that this child died. It wasn't nothing else to live for. So he did what he thought was the best. But I can respect the man that stand on his decision making, no matter how I go, right or wrong. Because we got this thing in society now where all these young kids are committing crimes, and then you see them get arrested, head held down. Sometimes they crying in the interrogation room. Sometimes they crying at the bail hearing. I don't respect it. I don't like it because you're supposed to be fully aware of the decisions and everything that you got going on. Now, he's a grown man, so he get it. I think Rodney is comfortable spending the rest of his life in prison. But to be honest, I don't even think he did it on purpose. If you want to be totally honest, yo, I don't think he did it on purpose. I think he might have been testing the driving, man. You understand what I'm saying? He might have been on the phone and driving and just happened to run into the officer. But no matter how it happened, The police is going to say it was intentional. Now he's got some hefty charges that he got to face. I don't know if life on the table is in question. Maybe it is. But no matter how it go, I think Rodney is cool. The police took his son. They took one of his. He took one of theirs. This is the American way. This is how shit always go. You understand? Very seldom do you see it taken out on the police this way. But you heard the police chief speak about how we shot his son. So if we shot his son, then we all in this together. So it's no hold bar. It shouldn't be. That's just my opinion. I want to hear from y'all, man. What's up? How y'all feel about this situation? Do y'all think this was justified? Do y'all, even if it ain't justified, do y'all understand his rationale? Like, I can't say it was justified because at the end of the day, the officer that he mowed down was innocent. He not the one that killed his son, but you heard the cop claim that we did it. So that means if we did it, we all together. So how this goes, if consequences come down, then we all in this together. Right or wrong, right? But let me know how y'all feel about this in the comments. It's another day of KILL3D News, and I'm out.